Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Jumpwhere. Today we will be reviewing a lot of resumes. Yes, for the first time we are uploading a video where we have accepted 20 to 25 resumes of various students from engineering colleges, and we will be reviewing their resume and checking whether the resume is as good enough for the recruitment that happens in the college, that is campus placements as well as off campus placements. So these are the resumes of people who are in pre-final years or final years. It may not be perfectly ready because they would have just started their project work and things like that. At the same time, as an interviewer or as a company that's visiting the campus, I would purely be reviewing the resumes basis on that, in terms of their technologies and in terms of their ability to get started their career in an IT company. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So let me just share my screen so that the resumes come up. And here's the first resume that we are going to review. So this is Mr. Nihal. Nihal. So Nihal's resume, first further, I see there's a picture here. Okay. And although it looks like a casual shirt, uh, I see an address, I see summary, some bold in the menu item, inside items. All right, the name is good. I hope this empty space contains all of the details like your email ID, phone number, GitHub link, right? Uh, Picture, just check if you can add some, uh, official formal dress here. Okay. Address is not really needed. Summary is fine. Nobody's really interested. Before you put your education, at least put your skills up. Right now, education is section is fine. Summary section is fine. Skill section is a little weak. I don't see anything much happening here. Okay, there are languages that you mentioned. Fine. Database, SQL. Okay, but this has to be more in detail in terms of what have you learned in Java? Like, do you know Hibernate? Do you know Spring Boot? Any frameworks that you know in Python? And things like that, right? And other tools, for example, have you played with APIs, or have you used something like Figma for wireframes, or tools like Jira or MS Office and other things? Please make sure this that's added over here. This doesn't looks very rich and convincing, and I don't know why there is a gap after language. The spacing alignment is not proper. I see too much space here. You mentioned about courses and workshop. Okay. Now you also mentioned the cloud certificate. Remember, man, always when you add a certificate, certified or any information of a certificate, there has to be a link here on click of which I can see the certificate. Okay, that's it. Technical activities, participating in various IT and non-IT related events and secret prizes. Okay, but where are the projects? You did your mini projects. You told that you have learned all these things. You would have done some activities in these. So that needs to be displayed here. Your contribution in the project, your roles and responsibilities in the project has to be displayed here and shown. Okay, so that's missing. Extracurricular have hobbies. Okay, fine. Uh, but for me, this is very half-cooked resume. There's a lot of technical things that need to go in, especially in terms of technical skills or areas that you've worked on, or skills that you're aware of, and the projects that you've worked. Okay, so please work on it, Mohammed Nihal. Going to the next resume. Alan Rajimani. Okay, I see the header section is good. There's a professional pic with the suit that looks really professional. Remember, guys, the photo plays a very important role, because at times when companies are coming to campus, they are just seeing your face for the first time. And once one round of discussion is over, this photo helps them to recollect who that person was. At times when we are seeing 50, 60 shortlisted resumes, we are not able to identify who was who. So in such cases, the photo is very important. You mentioned your address, not really needed. Summary looks a little very lengthy, could be cut down into 3 lines or maximum 4 lines, not more than that. Skills looks a really well described: C, Python, Java, JavaScript. Okay, just make sure that whatever you write here, you are aware of it and you have done some kind of work on it. Right? I am not understanding the line productivity. Maybe you can write as others. Right? Jira can come into a tool which is ticket management system. Slack is a communication channel. You've combined multiple things into one, so you can rather write others, right? Education section is fine. This is good. You wrote your skills first and then education. Good. Work experience. You seem to have some work experience while you're a student. That's really rare to see, but that's really good to see. But while I see this section, both your work experience and projects, I am somewhere lost. I am not able to find out any differences between what is what, right? I see that this is slightly different and this is more of a section, but please make it easier for the interviewer who is reviewing your resume, right? For example, this title, I understand. Maybe you can keep the title on the left side, your role in the center, and the timeline on the exact on the right side, right? Left, center, right. Probably that space, and give one space after this line, right? So that's easy to understand or easy to read. And I don't know what is this. This is paragraph. Okay, fine. But is this about the project? Is it roles and responsibilities? Not really sure. I have to dig deeper and understand line by line, and I do not have so much of patience to do that. No interviewer will look into your resume for more than 2 minutes. In that 2 minutes, you should make sure that it is appealing enough or pleasing enough that he's able to pick the key terminologies. Okay. So make sure that you're formatting this section, both work experience as well as project section, in proper manner so that it's easily readable. Okay. And you need not write played or google.com, right? You can just put a word and put a hyperlink on that, which will redirect to the Play Store link. But this is always good, guys. Things like this give more points, more value add, and interviewer will be like, oh yes, this guy has done something on Play Store, right? Provided you know how to deploy and things like that, right? So make sure that add as many links as possible, add as many third party links or websites or apps or whatever you have developed. Demonstrate, right? Ask their permission if they can you can show them something, and show them, demonstrate them, and tell them what exactly was your role. Again, in this section, I don't know what technology have been used. I have to go read line by line, which would be a little tricky. It would always be better if you can write one more line item saying the technology and mention all the tech stacks used, and then mention 2 or 3 lines about the project, and then 2 or 3 lines about your roles and responsibilities in the project. Achievement and activities looks a little, I don't know, some spacing issues. Please look into that. Otherwise, this resume looks really good, very informative, very value add for me because there's some work experience as a fresher, and he has worked on multiple projects, which is definitely a good resume. Please make sure you're formatting of it. All right, going to the next resume. Gaurish. Gaurish has not added photo. Okay, fine. I hope you had added your basic details like email ID, phone number, GitHub link, LinkedIn profile link. It's always better to have a professional image so that people remember. But otherwise, it's okay if it's not there. Please make sure skills is above education, right? And skill Java, C, Python basics. Okay. Angular, Bootstrap, coding projects, GeoGlimpse, okay, HTML, Angular. Great. I see that you added Angular here, you added Angular here, which kind of gives you a good proof, right? Maybe here in the tools you can also add REST API, or maybe you can write API framework and then write REST API. It's a good skill to have, right? And you added a link. That's also good. But you also need to add what was your roles and responsibilities in the project. That is missing here, right? You have added your experience as a web developer, great. But what exactly did you do? You need to be a little more detailed, right? And I don't know why this is going to the next line provided by, and then next line. Please make sure that's done, and please make sure that you're adding all the technical things that you learned during your internship. That plays a very prominent role. And if you've done some project, please write about the project as well. Certification, any certification that you're doing, make sure that you put a hyperlink, and then on click I should be able to see that certificate. Just writing this will not give you a value add. Please add hyperlinks, especially when you're sharing your resumes online like this. It's always good to click on the particular link and then go to that particular certificate to verify that you've really done the certification. Otherwise, how do you prove that this is done? Okay, activity is fine, hobbies are fine. Please add the project. I guess that's the only thing missing. Otherwise, this resume looks good. Going to the next one, Abhishek. Abhishek, he's added your LinkedIn profile. Please make sure you add your GitHub link as well as your basic details here. and summary, education, skills. You see this year you're written in capital letter, year you're written in only first alphabet is capital. Please make sure everything is the formatting is properly put across the entire resume. If you're not fit for taking care of one page document, how do I ensure that you'll be fit in taking care of the projects in my company, right? So that's something that you need to please make sure that you're perfectly doing. Summary is fine, education is fine, right? Technical skills are fine. This formatting needs to be fixed. Projects, okay. Movie ticket booking system. You written about the project, but why have you written here? What is your role? How long did the project go? What was your responsibilities? What technology stack did you use? Please maintain all that. Please add all that, right? Courses and completion. This is good, but make sure that you have the certificates for that and you put a hyperlink over here. Achievement and activities are fine, looks good. Again, if you're adding the word certified, please make sure that you put a link, right? Yes, so I guess that's in this particular resume. Going to the next one, Savannah. This looks a little different for me. Yeah, this resume looks a lot different than the normal resume. This looks more like a designer's resume. If you're an artist, I don't know what does that means. Designer, again, what kind of designer are you? Designer are you? Are you a UI UX designer or something else? Please mention that. And you also mentioned that you're a developer. This is a little casual resume. Please make sure that you're following the you know if you're specifically looking for a designer role, okay, this resume is somewhat okay. But if you're looking at a developer role or a standard role or professional role, probably stick to the normal forms unless the company is okay or it's a funded startup or it's some cool product based company and things like that, okay. But in the campus placement, please make sure that you stick to the basics or you stick to the layout that is defined by the college or standard layouts which you see in black and white, okay. But keeping that aside, assuming it's your designer's profile, I see that you've added some details, you've added your portfolio. I'm not able to click on that. I don't know. And as a designer, I would also want to see something like a Behance link, which is easy for me to access rather than seeing a GitHub link where I'll not be able to see a designer activity. Right? Summary is fine. The reason why am I not reading anybody's summary is because that's exactly what recruiters do, right? They're least interested in your summary sometimes. They'll only concentrate on what is your technical skills, what is it that I can get from you, and whether you're suitable for my company or not. Okay. Work experience. Now, again, you see the fonts here. The font here is different. The font here is different, right? Again, from here to here, the font changed. Again, from here to here, there's a slight change in the background color. Please make sure you're maintaining the proper layout and the template and following the same font style and font sizes across, right? Again, here the font changed, right? Please put a bullet point if it's a pointers. Amazon your where's the link? Please make sure that you're adding the link or you're adding some kind of a proof that you've done it, right? So that's missing. I see skills as UI UX design, full stack web developer. UI UX design is okay, but which tools have you used? Where have you mentioned about the tools that you worked on? Please make sure that's added here, like Figma or Adobe, whatever, right? When you say full stack web developer, which technology are you talking about? And what is a proof? For any skill that you're adding here, there has to be a proof. It is not just about you learning something in your classes, right? It's also about have you done some project in that? Have you really had any working exposure in that, right? Courses, Google UX design specialization. If you have done a course, if you got a certificate, please make sure the certificates are added. For me, this resume, the layout looks a little colorful, but it's very unstructured and very detailed. It's still half cooked, I would say, or half baked. It needs to be improved, right? Projects, you mentioned project, but you're not told what is your roles and responsibilities in the project, right? If it's designing, fine. If it's development, then I would also need to know what technology is used. In the design, probably you can add what tools you've used. Okay. So that's the feedback here. Savannah, please improvise your resume and make sure all the relevant informations are added and maintain the layout and the template in the proper manner. Kiran Kumar. Okay. All right, I have some basic details. The GitHub link is missing. I guess you don't have anything in the GitHub to showcase, but if you have GitHub link, please make sure you're adding it. Whatever assignments you do, whatever projects you do, make sure it's committed to Git so that companies are aware or the recruiter is aware that you're familiar with Git. Summary you've added. Oh man, this is too lengthy. Please make sure you cut short into 3 to 4 lines, not more than that. Because if you're mentioning all these things, the customer sorry, if you're mentioning all these things, then the interviewer is already bored talking to you because he can read all these things. Then there's no point in you being there, right? And everybody knows that you're a key CSC engineer here, right? So you don't have to mention it again here and multiple times. It is only repeating the information. You mentioned about the skills. I see only C and Java. Okay, great. So my next question will immediately be, what did you do on Java? Right? This is fine, but what did you do in Java? Did you do any framework? Did you learn any framework? Did you do any project? Please make sure you add your projects. I don't see anything. Okay, you mentioned two projects: bike rental system and solar energy. I mean, what is this? What do you mean by solar energy projects? Okay, something like this is like a big no, a big no for any student who are going with a profile like this for campus placements. I'm not even sure how did your college approve this resume. Please make sure that you're adding a little more details into this. Right? You're telling about internship in Python development with Django. So what did you learn? Did you learn anything about the database? Anything about the Django framework? Please elaborate. What did you learn? This is one opportunity that you're getting. If a resume looks half-baked like this, I'm not even giving an opportunity for somebody like this to even come and sit in front of me for the interview because there is nothing for me to ask in this, right? It's like it's there is nothing that you've done. Then on what basis do I take interview? You mentioned about courses: introduction to ethical hacking, scanning network and enumeration course, HTML and CSS. Is it just course? If you have done a certification, you've got a certification, please make sure you add the certificate here, right? But courses should come at the end. Your internship should come first, then the projects, then the courses. Please make sure that is followed as well, right? It's all based on the weightage that gives in your resume. I would not be interested in the projects just by seeing one line item. I would want to know what exactly was the project about, what were the technology that was used in that particular project, and what were your roles and responsibilities. What is the duration of that particular project? Right? Same goes with internship. If you did any project, please mention about that particular project that you've done. Okay. This is a big no resume or a big red flag. A lot of things here. Please improvise, Kiran Kumar. Prajit. Okay, I see the GitHub, I see LinkedIn. Okay, this is good. Summary is good. Skill set is good. Then you maintain education. This is really good. This is exactly how the format should be, guys. Right? Basic Java, C, C++, Python, HTML. Okay, database, Firebase, and SQL. Additional skill. This is good. You mentioned you're calling it as additional skill and then mentioning all these details. Good. Okay, internship and training, data visualization. Okay, you're very specific that you are interested in data visualization, but I don't see anything about data visualization here. Please make sure you can add some things that you've learned over here into your skills, right? Because that's also a skill set. Strategy consultant or virtual experience. Training program by Accenture, the program Accenture, management, decision making, data interpretation, user experience, and process design. Okay. All right. You mentioned about the projects. The project involves. Now, this is about the project, but what was your roles and responsibilities in the project? Please add that. Please mention what technologies that you used. Same applies to the other two projects as well. Courses, any courses, if you've completed, if you've got some certificate, please make sure that you add a link to the certificate. So as this is good. Again, you've done something in ML here, something in MATLAB, but your skills do not speak about it. Guys, your entire resume should match whatever you write here. Otherwise it's a mismatch. Here I am having a wrong perception about you, and here I'm having a different perception about you. Right? Here I'm talking MATLAB, UI, UX. Okay, fine, but what about here? Where is UI, UX here? Right? So don't be disconnected. You should speak the same language in your entire resume. Okay. Achievement and activities good. A lot of things that is here. Hobbies at the end is fine, right? So this is good, but a couple of things that you need to take care of is your skills should contain everything that you're interested in or that you've done, and project needs to have details in terms of what was your roles and responsibilities. All right, that's project. Going to the next resume, Anza Ani. All right, this can be a little structured, right? Okay, I just clicked on. Okay, wow. I clicked on a GitHub link and then it gave me, oh, not for probably maybe because I'm not logged in, right? I hope it's working if I just log in and check. And make sure you guys check that, guys, before putting any links over here. After you put the link, create, generate a resume, please make sure you are clicking on it and seeing if it's working fine or not. Summary, AI and ML learning engineering student. Why? You have anyways mentioned your AI ML. Again, you need not mention it here, right? And fine education, fine skills, Java, Python, SQL training, MySQL, VS Code, MATLAB. All right. Where's the project that you've done in Java, Python, something that you would have done? No, please maintain. Please mention about the projects that you worked on. It is very important. Otherwise, I don't know whether you really know Java, Python or not. If you're just talking based on what you study in the classroom, that's really not sufficient. Please make sure you put some efforts before you start attending placements and you have some good projects done in that particular language, right? Now, here, app development using Flutter. You're mentioning about Flutter over here, but your skills do not speak about Flutter. Okay, please make sure it's matching. Technical activities, fine, whatever you participate. Extracurricular activities, fine. This can be in one line, adding comma, 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 because this is not much of a valuable activity. But I'm more interested in seeing what projects you have done. Also, add GitHub link for each of the projects so that I can go check what is the source code that you have worked on, right? And the spaces between each of these can be reduced. The space between each can be reduced in this, right? And make it more wow and good looking and neat. Okay. So this is average resume, but it can be improved a lot. A couple of things missing is the projects that I spoke about, and then a couple of things that you worked on are not matching. For example, app development using Flutter. Do you really develop a project here? Can you mention about that particular project as a project? Yeah. So those are a couple of things that you need to work on. All right, I don't see anything. Okay, I know the file name is Muzain, so I'm assuming this is Muzain's profile. The upper section, I hope he has considered everything and added. Summary is fine, education is fine, skill, I say C, Python, HTML, CSS. Okay, he has not added Java, probably he has not learned Java or he's not confident in Java. That's good. At least, you're very clear that, your focus is on Python and C, right? So that's how it should be. I mean, I won't ask him any question related to Java at all in this case, right? So that's good. And but but where is the project? How do I know that you worked in Python, right? What did you do on database? Did you do any projects? What did you do? How do you learn, right? Please mention about that. Please mention whatever you've done, whatever you've done practically for wherever you have applied these skills. That's very important, guys. Courses, fine. Where are the certificates? Can I click on this and go to certificate? I cannot as of now. Make sure you're adding clicks and certificates. If there is no certificate URL redirection, at least place all those certificates into the Google Drive and give a Google Drive link itself. That will be more valuable. This resume is average for me. I don't see anything much here. There is no project mentioned, so I don't know how good is he in the project, what were his roles and responsibilities, how good is he, what has he done. All those things are missing, so it's very difficult to evaluate. It's an average resume, but it's an incomplete resume. Please make sure you're adding the details that we just mentioned. And please remove this from the resume, guys, if you're not going to add it, date and signature. Usually nobody fills this, so it makes no sense adding this line as well. Please remove it. Next resume, Muhammad Hisham. Hisham has put his LinkedIn, email, mobile number. Fine. Where's the GitHub link? Please make sure GitHub link is not there. I don't consider them as a developer because there's nothing practically that they have done. Right? Summary is fine. Education section is fine. Skill is fine. This looks like copied from one of the resume that I saw earlier, right? There was a space between database and interface earlier also, right? So make sure you're not copying, guys. This is your resume. You need to be unique. You need to be talking about whatever you've done. Okay. So skills are C, C++, Java, Python. He has put like any other average student. He has added all four programming language, which is basically not something that everybody would be knowing, but students add it because they've been learning this in the college. My first question is, how do you prove that you know Java? How do you prove that you know Python? Right? And again, just by mentioning Java, Python is not sufficient. You need to even add details in terms of what do you know in Java, what do you know in Python in specific. Okay, mention those things as well, right? And then where are the projects? The projects are not there, so it's a big no for a technical interviewer to give weightage to what you've done, because that's only where I can evaluate what you've done. It could be mini project, it could be something that you do on your own, it could be something that you took a course and at the end of the course you did the project, right? It doesn't matter what you did or where you did it, but you need to mention that so that the interviewer gets a feel that you have some kind of a practical exposure. Okay, internship is fine. And again, full stack Python, probably bold this. This will give an impression that you're more focused towards Python, right? So that's missing. Please add that. This looks like an average resume but needs a lot of improvement. A big no, a big red flag, because the project's things are not there. Going to the next resume, Hemant Rangigoda, summary is fine, skill fine, education fine, internships. Okay, this is something that I didn't see in the previous resume. I see the name of the project, I see the technology, I see that there's something called as problem at hand. It's to develop an ML that can effectively. Now I don't know whether this is about the project or about the roles and responsibilities played by you, Hemant. So if this is about the project, then I need to see what was your roles and responsibility as well, right? He's mentioned about some project. This is good. This is good. He's mentioned technology also. This is really good. But where is the source code? Can you add a GitHub link where you tell that this is where what you mentioned and what you developed, right? Or what is your roles and responsibilities in this? Probably that's another thing that you can add. Now here you mentioned Java, Python. You've not mentioned anything about these two things, right? You can mention here another line item as IDE and mention all the IDE that you know, like Jupyter Notebook or Visual Studio or anything. You mentioned about a couple of courses, fine. Please give a link to the certificate. That's another thing that you can add over here. Otherwise, good resume, or better resume than what I saw recent past, but needs an improvement, needs some value adds. You can improvise this with a lot of things in terms of technologies that you use, or tools that you use, or libraries that you use. Please add that, because this section will talk how good are you with respect to tech skills. Okay. All right. Going to the next resume. Kishora, first section looks fine, summary is fine, education is fine, language is also fine, projects, age calculator. You mentioned two lines about the project, fine, but what is that? Like, it's a mini project. What do you mean by age calculator? Simple web application that allows user to find out their current age by entering their birth date. I mean, what? I don't even see you. What do you mean by this? Why have you even put this? This is a simple calculation of a date functionality, and you're mentioning that as an entire project that you do. I mean, this is something a high school student or a +2 student will be able to do nowadays, right? Because of all the technical learning that is available in the internet. Please, this does not qualifies to be called as a project here, and definitely not something that I expect from an engineering final year students to be put out here, right? You can do better projects. Please make sure that you do some better projects, and then you mention about that. Projects is very much necessary and essential here. Please add some projects that you worked on. You mentioned Java, C, C++, SQL. I'm sure you would have done something on these, right? Please add that. Now you mentioned that you're doing Python development with Django internship, but you're not mentioned about that particular language here. You mentioned Java for beginner, Java OOPS feature, fine. SAP technical consulting, okay. Core Java, right? Now you need to add all that here, right? Java is a language, fine, but what exactly did you learn in Java? You can mention whether it's Core Java or Spring Boot or Hibernate or whatever you have learned. Internship, fine. Achievements, fine. Please make sure if any certifications done, you have the certificates. Any projects, make sure you add your GitHub link so that it can be redirected to GitHub and we can verify your work. Next, Chirag. First section looks good. Summary looks good. Education section looks fine. Skills, you mentioned Java, Python, fine. Okay, I see some projects, great. But what was your role? What project are these? What did you do? What was the learning or roles and responsibilities that you had? Please add all those details. It is very much essential. Just by reading this, I'm not able to connect what was your responsibilities or what was your role in the project, right? Courses and workshop, make sure that you add certificate links. Projects, make sure you're adding GitHub link and put the code in the GitHub so that you can get more confidence about it, and the interviewer get more confidence that he has something to showcase, right? Technical activities, participations, fine. Extracurricular activities, fine. Yeah, but need to improve in this project related section. Otherwise, this profile looks good and neat enough. Going to the next one. Srivatsan. Srivatsan, okay, the section at the top is fine. There's a photo, fine, looks decent. Summary is fine. Education, okay. Skills, Java, Python, C, okay. Tools, I see some different tools here. Good. Good to see that. Courses and workshop. Where are the projects? Okay. Projects can come first and then courses can come because projects are more value than the courses. Okay. So I go to the projects first. I see that you've written neatly. Tools use is written good. Google Colab and Kaggle, right? I don't know why have you not added that in your skills section. Please make sure your skills are reflecting about whatever is mentioned in your resume. Okay. Technical activities, please add all the links, certificates, whatever you have. Right. Coming to the courses and workshop, it seems like you've done a lot of courses, which is really good that you're trying your hands on to multiple things. Right. AI, cloud practitioner, virtual reality, big data, machine learning, UI automation, introduction to AI, Python and computer vision. Okay, great, awesome. But make sure that you have good amount of knowledge about these topics so that if any questions are coming, you're able to answer those questions. If you're somebody who's learned on AI, maybe you can write like technologies colon AI or whatever you've worked with. Big data you written Hadoop, right? Probably try your hands on and then mention about that, and maybe even add one or two projects related to all these courses that you've done. If you've just watched videos and at the end of the video you've taken some multiple choice question, then please remove those from here. Or you just got participation certificates, it's not really worth it. It's good that you have that, but you should also be in a position wherein you answer certain question if asked by the interviewer. Okay. So that's the other thing. Make sure you add your roles and responsibilities in the project that you worked on. Other things look good. Yes. All right. Going to the next resume. Okay. Dhanush, basic details are remote, fine. Summary looks decent. Education section is fine. Language, again, education fonts, guys. Here, see the fonts here, see the font here and here. It's different. Please make sure you maintain the standard formats, fonts and formats. Technical skill is all capital. Here again, here it's capital, here it's small letter. Please make sure such things do not happen. It's very important that you are maintaining a uniformity from top to bottom in your resume. Again, I don't see any projects that you've done. Please mention about the project. It could be mini project, it could be database project, it could be something that you do during your any of these courses that you attended or anything that you've done during your internship or anything. Right? Please make sure that's added. And along with that, your responsibilities needs also to be mentioned in the projects, right? Courses, fine. Introduction, Java programming, okay. This is fine, but having a link will always be better. All right, achievements is fine, internship fine, but you also need to mention what exactly are you learning in internship, right? What technical skill, what project you're doing, what were your roles and responsibilities during the internship. It's also important. So make sure you add all those details. All right, looks like battery is low. Just give me a sec. Right. Okay. Manoj, there's a picture which looks professional enough. Good. There's details mentioned. Okay. Going down to summary is decent. Education can space. This space can be saved. Please make sure that you don't waste much of a time on this section, right? Much of the space, not time. Sorry. Much of space need not be wasted in this section. Go through this and make sure that you can improvise it. Language is fine. C, Java, Python, JavaScript. Okay. Web development, it's not designing, it's development, right? HTML, CSS. Okay. Database, MySQL, tools, VS Code, Android Studio, other. What is other? Like what do you mean by this OTHER? If there, is this some kind of a technology, then fine. If it is not, please make sure that you don't enter anything like this. Projects, you written guided project, build and deploy AI messenger chatbot using IBM Watson. Okay. But what is the details about the project? Where's the detail? Where's the technology? What was your roles and responsibilities? Please add that. That is very important. Otherwise, even if I am a fresher, I can write app development, did a clone of Amazon, did a clone of ChatGPT, did a clone of this and that, and developed an interface for learning management system, developed an e-commerce application. But the moment I ask certain questions about the project, I mean, if I've been asked questions about that particular topic, maybe I will be able to answer, may not be I'll be able to answer. I may not be able to answer. So make sure that you are adding all the details about the project, the responsibilities that you've taken up. And if it is something that's open source and that you want to, it is not something that very complicated and complex, please make sure that you add your GitHub link and you maintain the code over there in the GitHub link. Courses workshop, make sure that certificate links are added, but projects is something that you need to add, and you need to make sure the fonts are correct, the formats are correct. Always print and see, right? This is a usual mistake that we do. We create a Word document and then we download as PDF, we stop looking into it, we don't even look at it, right? You will see this, there is a space missing between each word, right? And here somewhere there are two spaces that's coming. Please go through the resume before sending to the interviewer. Next, Wasif Ahmed. Okay, email ID, mobile number, LinkedIn, GitHub, fine. Summary, fine. Education, fine. Technology, fine. Projects are missing, guys. I don't want to repeat the same comment which I've repeated earlier. Please make sure projects are added. Post certification, please make sure certificate links are added. Yeah, other things. Site earning looks fine, but project needs to be added, and this needs to be filled in with all the information that's missing. Okay. Karthik Raj Shetty, summary looks fine, education fine, skills is fine, internship. Okay, again, what was your roles and responsibilities? That is missing. Please make sure that's added. Okay, this is also good. Projects. Again, house price prediction using machine learning in Python. Okay, great. Please make sure you add which technology, what did you use, or there was Python code, did you use any framework, right? So that needs to be added. Courses, certificates need to be added, achievements, try to put a hyperlink and then have all the certificates in Google Drive. Extracurricular activities. Okay, great. Nice. Good. You have this I do detailing, you're able to detail out what exactly you did, right? And that's good. But project section is something that you need to add more details. And tools, maybe you can add some other information in terms of if any frameworks that you learn, probably add that. And any concepts, like for example deep learning algorithm, right? Or whatever you mentioned here in terms of MATLAB, Google Net model, right? Probably these can also come in your skills section, so please add that and elaborate your project's responsibilities. Shrajan Shetty. Okay, summary looks good. Education section looks fine. Technology skills is fine. Courses and certification, internship, achievements and activities. Please make sure that whatever courses that you maintain here, some good enough information about this. A lot of time I have seen this, to add this, but a basic question about that particular topic also you're not able to answer. Why? Because while you attended, it was just more like an attendance sake. You attended it, but now you don't remember anything out of it. So if you don't remember, do not keep it here. If you remember, then only keep it, because I am free to ask question about any of the topics that you mentioned or any word that you mentioned in this particular resume. Okay, so please make sure that you are learning everything and then only coming, or you're not mentioning about it in the resume. Projects, please mention as per whatever feedbacks I've given in the previous resumes. Swastik. Okay, LinkedIn GitHub link is fine. He has mentioned that. Summary is fine. Education section is fine. Skills are fine. Internship. Okay, great. Awesome. He has done some AI quantum internship. I don't see anything about AI in this. Okay. Duration is also mentioned. Fine. Okay. He has mentioned some information about his internship, but nothing he has mentioned about the project, nothing mentioned about technical skills that's done or roles and responsibilities that was taken up, right? Please make sure you add that as well. Python development with Django, you're doing an internship. Okay, fine. Present participating comprehensive programming learning. Please bold all these tech words or tech jargon so it's easily highlighted. Okay, nice. You mentioned about certain projects. See, technology. You mentioned technology. Good. This is what I'm talking about. Deep learning models, Python. Why haven't you added the deep learning models here in skills? Please make sure that you don't miss out on such things. Add it up, right? And your courses, make sure that if there are any certificates, you give a hyperlink to certificates. Looks good. A good resume, decently good resume, but your responsibilities needs to be added. Please make sure that's coming in. All right, I guess I am at the end of the resume reviewing. This is the last resume that I had to review, right? So great. So just talking about all the resumes, in conclusion, I guess point number one, make sure that you have a professional photo on the right side, because that helps interviewer while they are scanning different resumes. They'll not remember the name, but if they've had one-to-one sessions with you, they'll always remember the face. So make sure that video, I mean, your photo is coming, especially when it is a campus placements. Off campus, not really. I mean, it's your choice whether you want to keep it or not, but campus placements, try to keep it. Okay. Point number two, make sure that at the top you have your LinkedIn profile, you have your GitHub profile, which is a really good thing to have as a fresher, because that gives a value added information. Again, at the same time, it doesn't mean that I click on your LinkedIn profile, it's completely blank. You should be a little active in LinkedIn. Same goes with GitHub, right? I don't want to see just a profile page over there. There has to be certain projects that you work which you committed into the GitHub repository, right? Then coming down, make sure that you add your technical skills, and all the technical skills that you're mentioning at the bottom anywhere in the project descriptions is coming there, right? And then mention about the projects. Make sure that in the projects, while you're writing about the projects, it could be during the course, it could be something that you did on your own, or as a part of internship, or a final year project, or a pre-final year project, mini project, any kind of projects that you're going to do. Make sure that you're adding a couple of things there: name of the project, technology is used, duration, about the project, and lastly but most importantly, your roles and responsibilities in the project. That has to be there. If you're mentioning about any programming language in the skills, there has to be a project associated. Otherwise, how do I know that you have learned and as well as practically worked on those technologies? Okay, so make sure that that's coming in, and then formatting should be fine, alignment should be proper, the font style, the font size that you use should be uniform from top to bottom. Make sure that all these things are in place. Yeah, all the best, guys, and let's keep in touch. We'll be back again with another video for reviewing some more resumes. Bye bye.